Boys, meso abo anogara akafurika, nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika, zvese connected musharukwa, kamba kwevanogaya mari, meso abo anogara akafurika.
Right. 24 May 2025. And today I'm going to be giving you an update on what is trending. So today is a Saturday, and this is going to be a very interesting week because we are going to see a big event by Mnangagwa. So Mnangagwa is going to be opening the Trababalas Interchange this week. And this interchange is not complete. It's not only incomplete, but it's also an engineering disaster. So I want to take you through what it looks like right now. You can go and check out a lot of videos that have been put out this week. And specifically, you remember that this interchange, the budget when they started was 40 million. Currently, they've spent over 88 million. And I can estimate that the completion is about 50%. So about 50% complete on Trabablas. So now check out the picture here. So this is Trabablas Interchange. And this road that you're looking at is one of the worst stretches of roads in Zimbabwe. In fact, one of the busiest roads between Zimbabwe and South Africa. So this interchange was initially a roundabout which connected areas around Highfields, Glenview, and Chitungwiza on the one side. So that is from the north to the south. And then from the east to the west, it was connecting Harare to Beitbridge. So that is the configuration of the road. The road is poorly done. And you can see that little bridge on the left over here. So there are a number of bridges here. So that is, right now we're looking at 1, 2 bridges, 3, 4, 5, 6 bridges out of about 14 bridges that are on this stretch. And out of those bridges, the number of bridges that are complete. So let me take you to another stretch, another look at this stretch. So that stretch that you see at the bottom is the one that is going to be going to Chitungwiza. And then the stretch that you see at the top is the one that is going to be going to Masvingo. So these stretches are not complete. The groundwork is not complete. And the roads themselves are not complete. They are quickly trying to do this so that people can move away from talking about this bridge. The way that this bridge was designed is the problem. So if you go to Cape Town, you are going to see that there are many, many interchanges. But in an area like this, they would not use so much soil. So this has been done on the ground. What they should have done here was to go up. That is, instead of doing a lot of groundworks, they were supposed to use more concrete and more pillars. So you raise the road way up. So the road must go very high and it must be made more of pillars and blocks. So this was supposed to have been done away from the site. Then you come to the site and you put everything together. So this is a very poor design. Look at that poor workmanship on the left. This road is worse than a road made way in the past. The technology used here and the design is very, very poor. I've never seen such a poor road, especially on this kind of road where there are a lot of trucks. So I don't understand why they decided to do it this way. It's very bad, and the drainage is going to be a very big issue here. So there is a lot of factors. Firstly, the actual design of the road is terrible. I've never seen such a terrible design. And when I compare this road, I can compare it to what was done by Allendo, that is Allendo Road inside of South Africa. that road also has a number of bridges like this coming out of, I think, Mall of Africa and crossing over to the other side towards the airport and the other road going into Johannesburg. So that is what these guys were trying to do. But you can clearly see that the workmanship here is very, very poor. And it is not complete after the spending almost 88 million. So this is exactly what it looks like right now. That bridge is not complete over there. It's not even started. They are still in the middle of constructing it. And then you have this stretch where you can clearly see that the roadworks are not complete. The one bridge on the left is not complete, and the road is not usable. However, Mnangagwa is going to be opening this road this week. He's going to be commissioning the road. The section on the left is not complete. And it's clear that the budget is finished. There is no money. I do not know what has happened to the money for Trababalas Interchange. Everything is Trabablas under Mnangagwa. Nothing is complete. This is what has happened across all the projects that Mnangagwa has started. If you go to the parliament right now, Mnangagwa started the parliamentary villas, and those villas are not complete. If you go to Masvingo Road, Mnangagwa started those projects, those roads are not complete. If you go to Bedbridge, similarly, nothing is complete. If you go to the road towards Victoria Falls, they've started, nothing is complete. It's almost a pattern that Mnangagwa's projects are incomplete, and Trabablas is going to stay like this for years and years. This reminds me of the little bridge at Waterfalls. So people who stayed in Harare around 2001, they know that there's a bridge who spent 10 years without being complete. That was connecting this same road to Harare at Waterfalls. So this is crazy. And unfortunately, Mnangagwa is going to have to open this road. And I hope that journalists go in here and do a proper job of exposing the poor workmanship on Trababalas Mbudzi Interchange. What should have happened here is they should have done a bigger kind of setup, resulting in some sort of a small town or a mall here. So they should have done even better on this stretch where you can see the markets. So on your right, you are seeing the markets. However, these markets belong to some other people who are very well connected, and they could not take it out. So very, very badly done. And there's nothing new. Most of these roads were already existing. So if you look on the right here, it was already existing. If you look on the left, it was already existing. Only the bridges are new. And I hope that we have something to see when Mnangagwa actually does the commissioning during the week. I'm very disappointed with this road and the money spent here. Most of it has gone to Tagwire. Tagwire is the guy who supplied cement through his company, Kaya Cement. They failed to supply cement, and eventually the cement had to come from Zambia. So Zambia had to supply the cement here because Kaya Cement failed to supply, and eventually Kaya Cement was closed. So crazy stuff. Trababalas Interchange being opened this week. This is the biggest story right now in Zimbabwe. Besides what I'm going to give you next, which is the demolition of houses. So this week, we've seen the beginning of the demolition of houses. So houses are being demolished in Harare. The reason being, there was, leading up to the election, just a random giving of houses. So houses were being handed out to ZANU-PF supporters. Land was being used for campaigning by Mnangagwa. And this has resulted in so many people that's settling everywhere. So starting this week, 16,500 houses are going to be demolished in Epworth. However, there's an even bigger problem. 100,000 houses are said to be demolished in Harare because they're built on Harare Drive. So Harare Drive, and also they are built on the railway line land. So there are about 100,000 houses that are in danger of demolition because they were built on land which is on a road. And these were allocated by an organization linked to Mnangagwa, which was handing out land and saying people must settle there. There will be nothing will happen because it is ZANU-PF which is giving them land. So over 120,000 houses in danger right now of demolition. Right, I want to quickly go into South Africa, and then I'll bring this to an end. I want to keep it very, very short today. So let's look at what has happened after President Ramaphosa came back from the USA. So the United States has issued an update after President Ramaphosa came back, and they've said the problem in South Africa is the laws. So the law that requires land to be taken without compensation, they say that's a big problem. There's also a law for BEE or triple BEE, which requires people to give their companies to locals. There's also laws to do with shipping. I've talked about this extensively, that are preventing ships from moving the way that they're supposed to move in South Africa. However, the movement or the actual attention right now is on the alleged genocide that is taking place in South Africa. And the United States has now allowed Afrikaners or Afrikaner farmers to go to the United States as refugees. And they're saying the reason for this is because while people are saying white farmers must be killed, the South African government has now introduced a law that says land must be taken. So it's bringing unnecessary attention on the Afrikaners and putting them in danger. So I want you to see what was said as an update after President Ramaphosa's meeting with President Trump.
That what Americans in the world and what South Africans see is a movement and an attitude that is not only not punished, but reinforced, but Andrea, reinforced with a law that says, oh, those people that you're calling to have be killed, yeah, let's take their land. Who does that? This particular law they tout has not even been implemented yet because of the global attention that has been placed on them because of President Donald Trump's.
Right. So you can see it. It's very, very clear. President Trump is the reason why the law was not implemented.
That what Americans in the world and what South Africans see is a movement and an attitude that is not only not punished, but reinforced, but Andrea, reinforced with a law that says, oh, those people that you're calling to have be killed, yeah, let's take their land. Who does that? This particular law they tout has not even been implemented yet because of the global attention that has been placed on them because of President Donald Trump's.
Right. So it's not because President Ramaphosa has not wanted to implement the law. He only didn't implement it because of the attention that President Trump has put upon it. So this is, nothing has changed. So from a policy perspective, nothing has changed. The Americans maintain the policy. Afrikaners are refugees. They're going to be allowed to go to the United States. And when it comes to triple BEE, until that law is repealed or removed, then the United States is not going to change the policy on South Africa. This is a problem because the policies of South Africa are now being implemented on a piecemeal or haphazard way. So when you look at triple BEE, it has failed to achieve anything. The South African economy is being hammered. Right now, as we speak, nothing is happening in the South African economy. There is no growth. So the South African economy is projected to grow by 0.5%, which is almost an overestimation. If you walk inside of the biggest centers in Cape Town and in Johannesburg, you see that there's no one buying. There is no buying taking place, and infrastructure is deteriorating. There's no new infrastructure coming up. There are no new companies coming into South Africa, especially after the sanctions. And this is going to be a big problem for South Africa because they need infrastructure growth. They need development, and that is not coming. And if the United States put sanctions on South Africa, like what they've done. So what they've done is they are not putting any new money into South Africa. They've withdrawn US aid. And right now, HIV testing is plummeted in South Africa. People are not testing. The programs for PrEP, they've collapsed. And many people have lost their jobs. We're talking here of over 300,000 people that have lost their jobs since the US came out of South Africa. So massive problem. And President Trump has not made a statement as yet. They've not made a statement. What has happened is that South Africa has yesterday changed the law on BBBEE to allow foreign companies to come in South Africa, IT companies, without following that law. So already you can see the problem. You're changing a law, a portion of the law, without understanding and addressing the wider law. This is a problem. So South Africa going through a tough time. And what I think should happen is, and the Vice President of South Africa has said this, he said, those who want to leave must leave. So you can go check out the interview by the Vice President of South Africa, who is currently in France. He said, those who want to leave the country must leave. And this must be systematic. And I believe that to make an impact, you want at least 10,000 Afrikaners to actually go and settle in the United States. There will be a bigger movement in that case. And that is going to happen slowly. You're going to see as time goes on, more and more people are going to leave South Africa because of that quality of life that is being said. Low quality of life, high crime, and basically poor policy making. I do not agree with the kind of policy making that is taking place right now in South Africa. They are not looking at the bigger picture. So when you look at BEE, when you look at land expropriation, those things must be looked at like from a bigger picture perspective, not from a piecemeal approach. Because then what happens if another guy in agriculture complains, if someone else in manufacturing complains, what do? Do you change the law for different sections of the economy, or do you say change for everyone? And what did you do with the collapse which is taking place right now in terms of generally people being unable to afford? So no one is able to afford to buy, and companies are closing, unemployment reaching 43% within the past year. So big issues around South Africa, and this is going to affect the whole region, because South Africa is the biggest economy over here. So this is going on. You're going to see a lot more within the next month. It's going to become clearer and clearer when President Trump actually gives a statement on what he thinks about the visit by President Ramaphosa. So I expect President Ramaphosa to land anytime today. So that is this morning. He's going to be arriving, coming out of the United States of America. This visit, it needs to result in something bigger, which is a change in the economic policies of South Africa. And from a security perspective, that also needs to result in a change. South Africa obviously doesn't expect America to come and fix their security issues. They have to do it themselves. And it's a big job. Right, I think I've covered that. Let's go to Zambia. Zambia in a massive problem. So Zambia is going through a big fight between the two major political parties. That is UPND and PF. So what the many are looking at here is Nixon Shilangwa. He is a top official in the PF. His wife died this past week, and he is in jail for 5 years. So he was in prison for 5 years. He committed some offenses in August 2021 during the general elections, where him and other MPs from the PF party, which is the opposition of the former president Lungu, were jailed after they were accused of burning a Mahindra vehicle belonging to President Hakainde Hichilema's party. That is in a region called, let's look at the area here. So he was an MP, and the district was Kawambwa. So they were accused of burning this vehicle, and they were then sentenced to 5 years with hard labor. So they've allowed him to go out to mourn his wife, who died this past week, but he's not being allowed to appeal. So a lower court has given a ruling, but he's not being allowed to appeal that ruling. And PF is saying this man should have been allowed to appeal because the crime that he committed could actually be a crime where you pay a fine. So there is a big fight, and PF is complaining that they are receiving harsh treatment under the new government. But President Hakainde Hichilema saying that this is not true. So there is a big problem in Zambia right now among the two opposition parties leading up to the next election that is coming. I believe that is next year, 2026, the election of Zambia. And as you are aware, we are going to have quite a number of elections here in this region, including the election in Malawi, which is coming later on this year, 2025. So the election in Zambia is going to be very interesting. I expect massive problems in the coming elections in Zambia as PF is playing the victim. So they're playing the victim, and they say they're being victimized with a number of PF MPs currently in jail for periods ranging from 5 years to 10 years. So this is going to be very topical, and they are complaining that lawfare is being used against them. That is the MPs of PF. This man already has lost his seat because he was jailed for 5 years. So that is Nixon Chilangwa, currently trending in Zambia. Right, I think that is covered. Let's go to Matabeleland. In Matabeleland, we've got a massive development. There is a new tobacco auction floor in Matabeleland, and locals are making a lot of money from selling their tobacco. This is a second year of a program that was started in Matabeleland, that is in Bulilima and the Mangwe districts. Under this program, farmers are being encouraged to grow tobacco in Matabeleland. Normally, you don't grow tobacco in this region. However, there is a partnership that has taken place between the Tobacco Industry Marketing Board and a company called Atlas Agri, where they are introducing tobacco farming to this area. And the family that you're watching here has produced 800 grams of tobacco. That is the wife. Sylvia Mkandla, and the husband, Daniel. They have produced 800 grams of tobacco. If you take it at $2.50, that means they're going to make approximately $2,000. And that is only on a small piece of land, I think about a hectare. And many, many people coming and looking at this and believing that this is going to be a good thing. You can go and look at this story in the Chronicle newspaper. So a new cash crop in Matabeleland. Many people in Matabeleland missing out on opportunities. They don't know how to take care or to take advantage of these opportunities, especially gold mining. Matabeleland has got a lot of gold. Now they've got tobacco, and many people don't know how to go after this. If you look at $2,000, that is approximately 40,000 rands, or approximately 3,000 rands a month. So if you're a villager, you can survive very easily on that amount, and only a small piece of land required to do this. So many, many people in Matabeleland, in Bulilima Mangwe district, benefiting from this new arrangement. So instead of staying in South Africa, maybe you should be thinking about going back to Matabeleland and growing tobacco and making a lot of money over there. It's happening. And especially for the guys in Matabeleland, I think if you have an opportunity, you can then do gold mining and you can do tobacco. And these are quite possible. These things are possible. Many, many people have gone back home to do it. There is a blitz currently taking place in South Africa where anyone who doesn't have a permit, a work permit, is being grabbed. They're arresting. They're running roadblocks all over the country. And especially in Johannesburg, there is a big blitz. If you come here, you'll likely end up in jail if you don't have the right papers to be in South Africa. Right, I think I've covered most of the stuff that I needed to cover here. What is important is what is going to happen this week. Mnangagwa going to open Trabablas, which is not complete. Now, I want to quickly go into the newspapers. So let's look at the Herald newspaper. If they're woken up, are they up or are they sleeping? So let's look at Herald Zimbabwe. Yes, the guys at the Herald Zimbabwe have woken up, and let's see what they're saying. And they are covering one of the stories that I was talking about here. So let's look at Herald Zimbabwe. This is crazy. Guys, you cannot believe what is happening in our country. We have a massive problem. And what we need is a new leader. You need a new leader in Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa ari kuuraya vanhu nenzara. Now look at that. Herald newspaper is reporting that 16,500 houses are set to be demolished in Epworth. I've explained to you why this is happening. Land that was belonging to a private developer and which was earmarked for hospitals, industries, and so forth. They're said to be demolished. So we've started the house demolition again. That is going to happen. And then let's look at this picture here. SADC Transfrontier Conservation Area Summit, heads of states and government. That is the meeting that took place over here. And I think I see the president of Malawi over here, Chakwera, and then chairpersons and Amon Murwira and so forth. So I don't think there are many presidents here. There was only Chakwera over here. And then obviously you can see Jenfan without a scarf. Nobody with a scarf. This is amazing. Do you remember why no one allowed to wear the scarf by the army from last week statement? No one allowed to do that anymore. So that's amazing. Let's look at other things here in this newspaper. I can quickly go and look at this newspaper. Very nice newspaper, this one. They do a great job when they do produce their newspaper. Then ready to deliver, AUSC Chief Executive Stanley Mtoya and Local Organizing Committee Chairperson Junior Chidakwa addressed the media in Harare yesterday ahead of today's RASA Awards Gala. So RASA is Regional Sports Awards that is going to take place. And then Africa Day under the spotlight. You know that tomorrow is Africa Day. It's a holiday in Zimbabwe. No business taking place in Zimbabwe. And then obviously, let's see at sports. In sports, something terrible happened last night. So the coach tried to cheat. The referee tried to cheat. And it didn't go well. So Scotland, Scott Sapquaya's team were 0-0 with Chicken Inn. And on 89 minutes, the referee decided to award a penalty to Scotland. And that was not to be allowed. The match was abandoned. The referee ran for his life. Almost died. Yeah. Scotland is a fake team. Team Yavaroi. Ever since the death of Pastor Tafmani Masaya, I've never supported Scotland. The police in Zimbabwe are refusing to investigate the murder of Pastor Tafmani Masaya, who was killed while campaigning in Mavuku. That is why Scotland is a loser. There is a 12th player. No matter how many players they buy, they're going to lose. Varoi, Timia Scott, Sakupkanya. Now let's go to Chronicle newspaper. And I like it. I like the fact that they are losing so badly. They will never go to the top of the league. And even if they cheat, they will lose. It's going to happen. And you're going to see it daily. Scott Sakupkanya, Acha loser. Very legendary. Let's go to the Chronicle newspaper. I like it. I like it when they lose. It makes my day. Now let's go to the Chronicle newspaper. This is the newspaper from Matabeleland. And you can see again the picture of President Chakwera with Mnangagwa. So that is the same picture. Let's see how Mnangagwa is looking. Mnangagwa is wearing glasses. And his haircut is finishing. He needs to get a new haircut. You saw when Mnangagwa was over there in Belarus, he got a new haircut. But now, he doesn't have a new haircut. So I think when they were in Belarus, they gave him a haircut over there for free. And in Zimbabwe, I don't think he's got a barber. So someone get Mnangagwa a barber, please. Let's see what else is happening over here. Blawayo shame of flowing sewage. Guys, this is embarrassing. Burombo Flats, Resident Jaros Maropa, shows the state of Benjamin Burat's Burombo Flats in Ngoboyenja. This is not a flat. Stop lying. This is the dump. Why do you call such a thing a flat? Come on, Mnangagwa. do something. Obetimpofu, take some of that money and fix these flats. Guys, Burombo flats is a shame. How can someone live like this? I can smell this thing from here. It's terrible. So one day, what happened when I was at Nast, I was walking past this flat, and the police detective was chasing a criminal. So this day I almost got shot. I can't forget this day. This guy was running after the criminal. He was holding his gun and was saying, "Stop, stop, stop." And the criminal came right at me, and he managed to escape because obviously the detective won't shoot me. But this is terrible. What kind of debt is this? I cannot believe it. Burumbo flat people, it's disgusting. So I don't like it. I don't like what's happening, especially when I travel to Zimbabwe. I take my kids. I went to this place called Chicken Inn at Bedbridge. There's a whole bunch of people who sell airtime and all that outside there. So we go and say, let's stop here in this bathroom. Guys, Zimbabwe is so dirty. Yakashiba, semesa. And it is the same across the whole country. Most places don't have toilet paper. It's dirty, no running water. The plumbing don't work. Fix this place. I don't know if there's a minister of health in this country. Look at Mbare. Same thing. This is debt under Mnangagwa. Vano Semesa. Same thing to Mbungo. When I went to Mbungo, debt everywhere. They cook here, and right next door is the bathroom. What kind of a living is that? And then the same thing, controversial penalty, Sparks Rufaro Stadium, mayhem over here. Okay, I think we've covered almost everything that I needed to cover. And I would like to bring this to an end. And it's terrible what's happening in our country under Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa Arkura Vanu Nenzara. But this week you've embarrassed the Trabablas. It's going to be one of the worst ever displays we're ever going to see. What a poor design. I don't like the design. That is where the problem started. And then let me quickly look at the independent newspaper. This newspaper published on Saturday. Johan Rupert's influence on Musk Starlink in SA. I'm going to go on Starlink. I'm already on the waiting list. I don't like the fiber that they have here. It doesn't work. And most of the times, I can't move around my house. Like now, I need to move my device. I have to apply for people to move my device. So Starlink is coming. What they've done is they've changed the law so that Starlink can come into South Africa without following the BBBEE laws. So very interesting. And let's see what happens, how quickly Starlink comes into South Africa. It's just a matter of turning on the thing because the satellites are already there. So if you want to look at these newspapers, you can just go online. You can find all these newspapers in South Africa available to read for free. And as I said yesterday, I've already shown guys how to read newspapers for free. Let's see what SUV is over here. So Range Rover Vela. So they've got a Range Rover here. This costs more than my house. My whole house is cheaper than this Range Rover. What else? Sports, lots of sports. And then that is Mam Kize's club was expelled from the Premiership. You can go see it here. The South African season has completed and is closed. Right, I think that is all I wanted to cover for today. I don't have anything else that I want to cover. Most of the thing that is here is already covered during the week. And I will let you guys know if there's anything else that comes up during the day. But let's go and recap on what is important. What we said is that Mnangagwa's projects countrywide are not complete. There is nothing that Mnangagwa started that is complete. Under Mnangagwa, everything is on a standstill. Corruption, waste, and fraud are plugging the projects of Mnangagwa, especially this project called the Trabablas. It has been a disaster. However, Mnangagwa is forced this week to open Trababalas Interchange. In its current state, this is what it looks like. These pictures are from yesterday. It's not finished. It's poorly designed. The bridges are not complete. It's a total mess. And you can see that little bridge here. People have been showing that bridge there. It's not done. And it's going to be a work in progress. While people are traveling, nothing has changed here. And there's no bigger picture. So Mnangagwa has got no bigger picture. His vision is too small. That is the problem. And Zimbabwe is going to suffer under this man for a very, very long time. You need a new leader in Zimbabwe for things to work. Things are not working. And what you saw with the Burombo floods, that is what you're going to see around the whole country. It's a mess. It's a disaster. And nothing completes under Mnangagwa. So that is where we are. Mnangagwa arikura vanhu nenzara. Let's quickly look at the comments. Poorly designed. Yes, Mkoma. If you go to South Africa, I want to take you to the biggest interchange, which is in Durban, as you go towards the beach there, at the north coast. Biggest interchange. They use pillars and everything is in the air. So it's made away from that place. It's lifted and is placed. And it looks nice. The current problem that we have with this Trabablas, it's like someone went to college in Zimbabwe and they just started building there. They never went to say what other interchanges are there and how much they cost. This is a mess. It's a terrible mess. And they're going to see people selling under that bridge, selling their goods and so forth. This thing is not complete. And the drainage is going to be a mess. Water is just going to roll down that thing and it's going to just run into the whole thing. You're going to see water, like if there's rain, it's going to flood. It's a mess. I don't like it. And it's terrible. Look at the road. It's not straight at all. I don't know who did this. And these bridges are not complete at all. It's not done. It's still in progress. I don't know why Mnangagwa is opening it. Let's see how it goes. And then let's look at the tobacco comment. What tobacco got to do with going to Matabeleland? Why do you tribalize everything happening in the Matabeleland province? Respect us, please. Akushonipe, let me explain to you about Matabeleland. Most of the stuff that's happening in Matabeleland is not being done by people from Matabeleland. So if you go to Matabeleland right now, most of the people have left to go to South Africa. So take, for example, Bulawayo. There's no development taking place. Take, for example, Plumtree. Take, for example, Wange, Victoria Falls. Nothing's happening there. Those are the areas with the biggest deposits of gold and natural minerals. But none of the people from Matabeleland are participating. So what is happening with tobacco is that a new project has been put in place to empower the locals. So this is a private company, NTIMB. So if you are currently staying in South Africa and your job is to be a waiter, or your job is to stand around at the corners looking for a house to paint, or if your job is to be a security guard, you must go back home into your village and enter such projects, especially if you're in Bulilima and Mangwe. You must go to those places and start working. I've got friends that have left foreign countries who are currently in agriculture in Matabeleland. They are making a lot of money. So there is no supply of vegetables and fruits. There's no supply of things like nuts and so forth. Those are things that you can do. Now there's tobacco. There's also irrigation. You can put a bore at your house and start developing and selling in the markets. Currently, my understanding is that in areas like Wange and Vic Falls, there's no one doing vegetables. They have to buy them from as far as Harare. So take what I'm telling you here, not as a tribal thing, but as a way for you to make money. Do you think in 10 years you'll be a security guard in South Africa, or you'll be a waiter in South Africa? Think harder. So when you get a break, go home and think about what else you can do over there. Yeah, things are changing. South African economy is no longer what it was. So within the next 5 years, you're going to see unemployment shooting past 50%. Think harder. People are now looking at how locals can do better. So you are a local in Matabeleland, go over there and do something. Demolition. Demolition is happening. US is my friend. I like the US. The United States of America is the home of capital. And if you don't become friends with the United States, you're going to suffer. Let's see what else. The barking of dogs does not stop the train from moving. Yes, let's see how far Mnangagwa is going to go. Mnangagwa's presidency is going to go down in history as the worst presidents ever. Nothing is happening under Mnangagwa. And then the Trababalas Interchange. Yes, Trabablas, everything is Trabablas. So yesterday, Chamisa had a tweet. Go check it out. One of the longest tweets I've ever seen from Chamisa. A granny called him from America. And he wrote a whole tweet about it. So that is Chamisa over here. Go to Chamisa. I've never seen such a long tweet from Chamisa. How many hours did Chamisa take writing this tweet? Chamisa should just make a video. If Chamisa makes a video, the whole country will come to a standstill. Do you know that Chamisa has not made a video for a long, long time? It's almost as if he was banned from making videos. That's crazy. And then obviously, Nyokama Bunu, they have not they've not done any post here. They're saying the team at the top is still intact. Let's rally behind our party and the collective presidium. Trabablas is opening this month and we'll move to intersection. What the heck? I don't know if they've been hacked. There's something stupid about Trabablas on the group, Nyokama Bunu group. Please, let's make sure that our group is not hacked by Gananda. So currently, at 2042, there was a post, and that was from Sarwaka. So let's listen a bit on what he said.
Seriously, Zimbabwe. Tukufara kusangana mandira nhasi iri Friday. Tine urombo kuita delay yakutumirana audio kana kuti ma-updates. But sekutara kwataita masikati, tiri kuita a lot of changes nema-upgrades pamabatiro atiri kuita basa. So tanga tichimirira kuti vatatuma kuma-different meetings wauye vatipe feedback yekuti
Okay, you can go check it out. Sarawaka is giving an update. Good job. These guys are doing very, very well. And there's going to be a protest on Thursday at the court. And I'm going to give you an update on the lawyers. So I am going to be talking to different people and different lawyers. And I'll give you an update tonight on what would have happened. There is a lot happening with the case of Nyokama Bunu. So the good thing about me is I'm in touch with everyone, all the groups of lawyers, all the people behind the scenes. I know them, and we want the best for Nyokama Bunu. So I'll give you an update like I gave you an update last night. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you again later on. If there is a need, I'll come back during the day. So thank you very much, and a good day to you all.
Boys, segena mayuta kakumbuka apasiso rakachuka anzi anotimisa tomubvisa mabhurukwa ingoti takajamuka 2030 takabuka vachiratidza utsinye kunga amai azuka geza nekusaida chiti anoridza luka asi matira mabwezi zvinhu zvaitika ingoti takajamuka 2030 takabuka vachiratidza utsinye kunga amai azuka geza nekusaida chiti anoridza luka asi matira mabwezi zvinhu zvaitika makaune zvakaitike bulawayo mayuta kakumbuka hanzi koma ndiyo hanzi anopikisa wese tomubate kwiyo yaiva herere vachiridza muchiro tiri kutaura neanopfunge bwezi zvakawanda vamwe vanotigeza da kumisa zvigananda zviri kumedza gou ifanika anakonda taona pazouda nanatironi komanda nenyaya dziri kupisa pasocial media uchida zvakawanda pinda kamba kwemidiya vanovhura dzese dzakaipa dzakadziya waise ayamato ingoti takajamuka 2030 takabuka vachiratidza utsinye kunga amai azuka geza nekusaida chiti anoridza luka asi matira mabwezi zvinhu zvaitika ingoti takajamuka 2030 takabuka vachiratidza utsinye kunga amai azuka geza nekusaida chiti anoridza luka asi matira mabwezi zvinhu zvaitika kaune here zvakaitike bulawayo mayuta kakumbuka hanzi koma ndiyo hanzi anopikisa wese tomubate kwiyo yaiva herere vachiridza muchiro tiri kutaura neanopfunge bwezi zvakawanda vamwe vanotigeza da kumisa zvigananda zviri kumedza gou